I was working with the dealer the other day. Well, I work with dealers all the time. So I guess I could say the other day, but I also want to bring up the point that one of their major issues that they have is they're really lacking technicians, which isn't uncommon. If you're in the heavy equipment industry and you have a heavy equipment dealership, you're probably in the same boat that you need more technicians. Can't find skilled technicians, can't even probably find people willing to apply. I get it. But I'll say this, every dealership struggles with technicians. Not only with the quantity, but the quality of technicians. They all struggle with it. So what I've learned is a lot of dealerships use that as a cop out. They literally use it as a cop out. Well, I can't find technicians, and well, might as well not try. I'll just be subpar. And no, no, that's not acceptable. We have to take responsibility for the fact that we need technicians. And I'll be honest with you, the number one reasons we don't have technician is that we're at a 40-year low birth rate. We have believed the lie of society, and I'll let you define whatever that is. But the fact is, we need kids. We need lots of kids. Our planet's not overpopulated. We're not running out of food. Our government pays farmers to not farm food. We need kids. We need people to get married, and we need people to have a lot of kids. That's the problem. We have a shortage of doctors, lawyers, accountants, technicians, salespeople. We have shortages of just about every employee. Not to make the point, well, I guess I am making the point that our government pays a lot of people not to work. That's a different issue. But if we're going to solve the labor shortage, we got to start with we need to promote marriage and we need to promote families. And there's things you can do as a dealership to do that. And I've written an article in for the AED magazine. You can read about it, and it goes into those details. Or email me, John at servicebytheboxes.com, and I'll send it to you if you want to read it. Things that you can do to promote families at your dealership. But I'll say this, is that that's going to take 20 years. By the time somebody gets married, finds a wife, gets married, and gets the wife gets pregnant, and they have a kid, and you raise the kid, that's like 20 plus years. So that you probably, I hope you're realizing, John, that's great. We need to have more kids, but that doesn't help me tomorrow, because it doesn't. But we need to start that now. So what can we do? We can work with the military. The military trains our youth not only to kill people, like they taught me in the United States Marine Corps, but they also taught me basic skills on how to be a heavy equipment technician, and even got a couple years experience at that as well. So we need to take full advantage of people coming out of the military. We need to partner with trade schools like today. Call them today. If you're in Texas, TSTC is a great tech school that turns out great students. I'm on their advisory committee, and so supporting them 100%, that we reach out to them and hire their students. We also need to work with the local high schools. We need to go to school board meetings and ensure that they're investing in CTE training. We need to be teaching skills and trades in high school and not shoving everybody into a 4-year degree program, because I love education. I've got multiple degrees. I get it. But we don't need, I love philosophy, but honest, truthfully, my book, Service by the Boxes, is based off René Descartes, a French philosopher from the 17th century philosophy. So I love philosophy, but we don't need philosophers. We need mechanics, and we need technicians, and we need them bad. So we need to ensure that our school is focused on the needs of the workforce that we have today. I also say that we need to realize that you're not going to hire an experienced technician. If you can hire an experienced technician, there's probably a problem because they're being paid very well someplace at some dealership somewhere. And so for you to steal that technician away, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And then your competitor is just going to pay them more money to steal them away again from you. And so this is just a cycle goes around and round of cycling out technicians from one dealership to the next. You need to have an internship program. There are a lot of people who are looking for a job, who want to work, who want to get married, who want to have a family, but they can't find a good paying job. The skills, trade labor is an awesome career, very lucrative, high job satisfaction. And so you need to develop an onboarding process and a training process, an internship for technicians. Even if you hire a technician out of the military or out of a trade school, you still need to have an onboarding process. You still need to have a training process. You know, a doctor goes to school for about 8 years. And you know what they do? They go to work? No. They do a residency. They do an internship. They do more hands-on training. For 8 years, they study the human body. And then they have to put that in practice and be mentored and coached and trained by a doctor who has many more years experience. We need to do the same thing as technicians. Technicians are machine or equipment doctors, and we need to treat them as such. We need to value them as doctors, as highly skilled labor, because that's what a physician is. And so if you don't have an onboarding process, besides, here's your bay, here's our equipment, this is how you clock in and clock off a work order, you're failing yourself, you're failing that next generation technician. So find a way to develop an onboarding process that ensures, I wouldn't say ensures, but at least guarantees that there is a greater or higher possibility of that technician being successful at your dealership. Find ways to cultivate and grow and mentor and coach younger technicians, and you'll have people wanting to come work for you. If you don't have an onboarding process for your technicians, if you don't have a mentorship program or a recruiting program, give me a call, 979-337-4339, or email me at john@servicebytheboxes, and I'll help you develop one. There's things we can do to get your technicians today, but there's also programs and things that we need to put in place to ensure that we continually have a pipeline of technicians wanting to come work for you and for your dealership. And oh, by the way, a technician brings home just as much gross profit to that dealership as a salesperson. Let me say this again. The amount of gross profit that a salesman brings to your dealership, a technician brings that same amount of profit to your dealership. Mechanics, technicians are profit generating machines. And once we realize that and you understand the value that they bring, it's worth the time to build an onboarding process, to build a training program for young men and women who want to be technicians. You must value the technician. And the dealerships who constantly struggle with turnover on technicians are those dealerships who don't value the technician. Learn to build value and trust in your technician is step one into addressing your technician shortage. I'm here to help in any way I can. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can go to my website, learn more about me, servicebytheboxes.com. I do have a brand new book out, What's Really Holding Your Dealership Back. Go to my website, servicebytheboxes.com. Scroll down, and you can download my latest book, What's Really Holding Your Dealership Back, for free. After you read that book and you need help applying those principles and the roadmap to success that's outlined in my book, give me a call. 9-337-4339, or just email me, John@servicebytheboxes.com.